we are talking about negotiations. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how do you negotiate in order to get the best price possible on your new property. So you're going to use your home inspection for reference here because that's going to be a very important tool in your negotiations. It's going to give you a little bit of power, get quotes from trades and suppliers, about 3 quotes per item, just something to back you up so that when you are talking about negotiations, you are knowledgeable and they realize you've done your homework. You're not just blasting out numbers here and there trying to figure out if you can get a good deal. You've actually put in the time and effort in order to get the right quotes together and truly understand the value of what needs to be done in the property. If you're in an open house and you walk through a property, the agent is there chatting with you. Use your poker face, and silence can be power sometimes. So don't try to chat with them, get friendly, and talk about how much you love the home because you're not going to have as much power at that point. And if they do want to work with you and choose to try and have you write an offer with them, really think twice about that, because if they are representing the seller, can they truly give you the proper representation as a buyer? Because it's a little bit of a conflict of interest here. Either they're protecting the interests of the seller or the interests of the buyer. Sometimes there are agents who will do both ends, and it can be done, but it's not necessarily going to be as beneficial to you as a buyer. So try and use your own agent. Don't get caught up with them getting you to sign paperwork and come on as a buyer for them. The other one is keep your numbers as the forefront. If you've decided what number is important to you and what your bottom line is, keep that as the forefront. Do not get caught up in the game of negotiations and having to win or anything like that. Sometimes people get so caught up in the negotiations that they've won the negotiations, they've got the house, but then they realize they went way beyond their means. Don't get caught up in that. Make sure you know what your bottom line is and be prepared to walk away. There are times where you really feel you want a certain property, and it is a bit of a mistake that some house flippers make because they just fall in love with a certain property or location. They want it so bad that they are willing to pay the extra money just to get it, because personally it's something that they really love. But keep your head and your numbers in there. Try to keep your heart out of it if you can, because as much as you'll love a certain property, and it's going to be something that you personally loved, but not necessarily the masses. So when you go to, but keep your head in the game and don't get carried away. Have your negotiation tools on hand. So if you have come to that point where you're close to a final number, but you still need to negotiate a little bit more, think about your closing date. Is there a chance that you can kind of negotiate with that, move it up or back in order to make that seller a little bit more happy? Could you add more of a higher down payment? Because if you have a higher down payment or deposit, that might make it more interesting to the seller as well. Or are there inclusions that you want to renegotiate? Maybe they're including all the appliances and they'd rather take some with them. Can you just let go of those appliances, or do you want to get more appliances in order to go higher in price so that you don't have to buy them down the road? And then, of course, any other conditions. If there's other conditions on the offer that you really don't feel are that important, then you can take the time to decide whether or not you just want to remove those conditions, streamline that offer a little bit more, and hopefully make it more appealing to the seller in order to get slightly lower price. So now the power of a clean offer. So if you can come in with a clean offer with no conditions, that's probably your best negotiating tool with price. If people know that they can sign their name on that offer and it's going to be firm, they don't have to worry about any home inspections. They don't have to worry about waiting on your financing. They know they could just sign it and move on with their lives. Then that can be power, and you can definitely negotiate your price there, because people are just so happy to know that they can sign something and that money will be coming in. They can move on to the next steps. And then finally, having a deposit on hand ready to hand them. So if you bring in that offer and you have the check or bank draft in your hand at that time, that too will make it much more appealing to the seller. And how many walkthroughs are required? So this is the other thing that you want to put into your offer, just to make sure that you've got those extra visits in place so that you can come back in a couple of days or a couple of weeks or whatever and get prepared for your next steps. And this is a very important part of that. So always make sure that you have additional walkthroughs between the time that the offer is accepted and the day that you get your keys and are able to start your renovations. That's it for this episode.